What secret destroyed everything? My grandmother revealed a truth buried for decades. I didn't grow up thinking there was anything wrong with my grandfather. To me, he was just grandpa. The man who gave me chocolates, let me sit on his bicycle, and told me stories that made everything feel safe and simple. But looking back now, there was always something I didn't understand. My dad never let me be alone with him, not when I was little, not when I was older. Not even for something as simple as going to the park. I remember asking him once, confused, why can't I just go with grandpa? The way my dad reacted, I'll never forget it. His face went completely serious. You're not going anywhere alone with him, don't ask me that again. No explanation, no discussion, just a line I was never allowed to cross. Now I know he was being careful, I just didn't know why, not until that brunch. It was supposed to be a happy day, we were celebrating my cousin's promotion. The house was full of laughter, relatives talking over each other, plates clinking, normal, noisy, warm. Most of the women were sitting together. My grandmother was there too, 79, quiet, composed. The kind of woman who carried herself with dignity but never really spoke about her past. That day, she asked for wine, everyone hesitated. She hadn't had alcohol in years, but she insisted, so they gave her a glass, then another, and slowly something changed. Her smile faded, her hands trembled slightly, and then she started talking. At first, everyone expected something light, but the moment she spoke, the entire room went silent. She started talking about the 1970s, about when she had just gotten married, about being pregnant. Pregnant with her first child. She said back then you didn't question your husband. My grandfather used to travel often, weeks at a time. She trusted him until one day she was 6 months pregnant when a woman came to the door, angry, upset, but the moment she saw my grandmother, she went quiet. All she said was, tell him Margaret came, ask him to call me. And then she left. My grandmother said she ignored the feeling at first. When my grandfather came home, he brushed it off, it's just business, but something didn't sit right, so she went looking for answers. She spoke to someone who knew him well. At first he refused to say anything, but eventually he broke and told her the truth. My grandfather had gotten someone else pregnant. That alone shattered her, but it wasn't the worst part. She asked for the address, and she went there. What she found wasn't a woman, it was a girl, a child, 13 years old, heavily pregnant. My grandmother said her mind couldn't even process it. Her body gave out before her thoughts could catch up. She collapsed. When she woke up, Margaret was beside her, holding her, calming her, giving her water, and then she told her everything. The girl had been 12 when it happened. 12. There was a pause in the room when my grandmother said that. The kind of silence that feels heavy, suffocating, because no one knew how to react. My grandmother left him after that, went back to her parents. She was pregnant, alone, and broken, but back then, leaving wasn't really an option. No job, no independence, no real support, so eventually she went back, not because she forgave him, but because she had no other way to survive. The girl gave birth, a baby boy. He survived, and so did she, at least physically, but my grandmother said she never truly recovered. She was still just a child herself, forced into a life she didn't choose. She worked on a farm, raised her son alone, carried shame that was never hers to carry. People judged her, whispered about her, treated her like she had done something wrong, and the worst part, she had to keep living like that every single day. My grandmother's voice broke when she said this next part. She said the girl held on for years for her son, for as long as she could, and the moment he turned 18, she let go. She unalived herself. She was only 30, still so young, but already carrying a lifetime of pain. My grandmother said it like it still haunted her. Like she had been carrying that girl's story alongside her own all these years, and my grandfather, he never showed remorse, not once. By the time my grandmother finished, she was crying, not quietly, but like something inside her had finally broken after decades of silence. And then she said, if I had a choice back then, I would have never gone back. That was the moment everything made sense.